Hi, my name's John Storms, and I'm going to show you how I start off every song these days, every musical sequence. This is something's underway. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off by creating a brand new sequence. I select new musical sequence. I pick my song, Batman Smells. I put in my name as the author of the sequence, and I'm going to say don't use any timing options. Okay. Oops, I also wanted to only have one channel, so let me get rid of these guys. Convert it to a group. Give me all of those. Now delete the group. Okay, so now I have the barest bones of a sequence. So I save it, and I'm going to call it Timings Batman Smells. So this first step here, what I do is I'm going to go and grab some timings, and I'm going to import them from Audacity. So if I play this right now,
Jingle bells back.
see, but it has no timing grids at all. I come over here to the list of timing grids, and it just has this one free form. There's nothing there. So I've saved it. I'm going to close it out of here. Keep this open. Now I'm going to go in and check out the sequence that we just created, just to show you what an empty sequence looks like. Get out of here, dog. Yeah. Dog, get out. Get out. Out. Tina, out. Get out. Okay. So I go in here to sequences, and this is Batman Smells, and this is an LMS file. An LMS file is where where Light-O-Rama stores all of its information about the sequence. It's going to say open with Notepad, and this is it. This is the entire sequence as it stands right now. So it's stored in XML, which is kind of like storing a database in text. And it looks a lot like HTML. It's a markup language, very similar. So this little header here basically says it's XML. And then I have a start sequence tag, and I have an end sequence tag. And then I have a start channels tag. And then this contains all the channel information, and this is where the real sequencing is stored. Then here's where we store the timing grids. And this is just used by you to create your song. So it's here purely as an aid. The real sequencing information is up here in the channels. And then this section is tracks. So this describes all of the tracks, and then this here describes the little visualization that's built into the Light-O-Rama software. Not the standalone visualizer, they call it the analyzer. And then up here they have all these different options. They have the author, which we just put in, the date in which it was created, where the song is coming from, so it has some of the tags built in, and then the location of the song itself. And video usage too, which I assume means no. Okay, so right now this is the entire sequence. Now I'm going to keep this open because we're going to come back to this. So first what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up Audacity, and I really like this tool, and I was thrilled to death to find out that the guy who brainchild the Audacity program actually works 50 feet from me at the office. And so I was awestruck. Have celebrity in my midst. Okay, so I open up Batman Smells in Audacity, and I have this Analyze tab, and I got a bunch of these analyzers. Now, Audacity is from SourceForge, but these additional add-ons are the Vamp add-ons, and where you get those is you just do a search on Nutcracker 123, and you pull up their release page, and right here under Audacity you'll see there's the Queen Mary Vamp plugins for Audacity Windows install. You download this after you have Audacity loaded up, and I'll install it in the right place. Now what this allows you to do is you can create labels, and what labels are basically timing grids created by Audacity. So I come into Analyze, and I got all these different ones. Let's see, let's start with note onset. So what this one does is it detects the onset of a note, and you can mess around with the parameters here. And then what it does here is it put down a little label. Let me zoom in. For every time it detects a note beginning. So you can see here it detects a note beginning, and here, and here, and here, and here, and here. And if we play it, you can kind of see the notes go by.
Jingle bells, Batman smells, Robin laid an egg.
Real useful. So what I do is I come in here, change the name, call it onset, right? I come over here and I say File, Export Labels, okay? And I pick where I want it to go, put it on my D drive, under Music, just because that's where I've been doing it. Yep, and I want to replace it, okay? So let me go to my D drive. And with Notepad, I'm going to open up Onset just to show you how Audacity stores its information. So Audacity stores information in seconds. So this first column, every time a note's about to start, this is how many seconds from the beginning of the song that note started. Now the second one is when the note ends. Now for Onset, they basically say it's the same, so these two numbers will be the same. Okay. And then I forget what this value is here, but I don't use it. Okay, so, and these are tab separated. Now what you can do is you can go over here. Let me go find Excel. And you can say open. Okay, still getting used to the new 2013. Wasn't quite used to the other one. Music. And then here I'm going to say all files so I can see everything. And I find my onset.txt. Now it's going to detect that this is a text file, okay? And I'm going to say it's delimited. So it's delimited, I hit next. It's tab delimited, so I make sure, and it kind of gives me an example of what it's going to find. I click finish. Still recording, okay, yeah. And I've just basically pulled it into Excel. Now, if we go back to, yes, thank you. If we go back to the timing grid here, the way this works is this is timing grid. It's timing grid number 0. It starts counting at 0. It's type freeform, and then it has timing in centiseconds. So basically, this is empty. It means it starts at 0. So a centisecond is a tenth of a second, I believe. So anyway, we have to convert it so that it works in centiseconds. So let me double check something, just make sure I get my math right. I'll come back to this here in a bit. Ah, 100. Okay. So what we do is we take it and multiply it by 100 and we round it. Okay. So what I can do is if I want to turn this into centiseconds, I take this, multiply it by 100. Okay, and now I just want I want to round it up. I just want to round it. Number of digits, 0. Okay. Then I copy it and just go all the way down. And see? Now it's in centiseconds. So this is in seconds, this is in centiseconds, and we round up. Doing decimals won't do you any good because Light-O-Rama won't get any better than that. Okay, so I still got my formula here. So I just want to get rid of the formula. I'm sure people that are experts in Excel know a better way to do this. I just repaste it and I do paste the values. And now I say delete this and delete these guys. So now I just need to get it in the right format. Now this just basically is now just a exercise in text editing. So what I want is I want timing centisecond this. I come into here, I put that there. I come over to this side, and I need everything on this side, and XML is strict. Oh, it took out my quotes. Okay, it's stuck that time. I copy it. Paste it. Copy it. Paste it. And now I'm going to just copy the whole thing. Go back to my actual sequence. I'm going to keep this timing centisecond 0 because it does want that, and I just put all the others in here. See, but now I got these nasty gaps, and I don't want those. So I just say Control H, search and replace. Do the same over here. Search and replace. And I could make it fancy and put a tab in front and make it all good. Okay, now I save this, and if I did it right, I go back to the sequence editor, and I open this up, and open up Batman Smells, and look, the lines are there. That is the timing grid. Now we can see how that looks. I can just go down, 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 down. D is fade down. D, 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 D. Shrink, shrink, shrink. Copy it. Paste it. Paste it. Paste it. Now grab all of this, and all I'm doing is just filling in every timing slot with fade down. Okay, and now when I play it, I watch this one channel. Whoops. Play. Here we go.
The Batmobile lost the wheel and the Joker got away.
So that's pretty good right there. We got a lot of timing information. It was a lot of work because, you know, we had to do all the math and we had to move things around. Okay, so I'm not going to save that because what I've did is I've added one timing grid. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and I'm going to erase it, and I have a little script that does this work for me, and this is what I was showing you before. This is my little Perl script. Okay, and the way that works is I come over to here. It does all the work for me. I come into here and I say Audacity to Light-O-Rama.pl. This is the name of the script I wrote, and I say onset, and then I tell it the save number. So if I come back to here, the save ID was 0. I want to start at 0, so I'm going to say save ID 0, and watch what it does. See, it just formatted everything for me. So what I can do is I can do that same command, redirect it to a temporary file. I'll just call alt.txt. I open up alt.txt and a notepad. Now the other thing I do is I add the name, right? So I take the file name, trim off the text, and I call that, put that as a name. I just have this here as a comment, but I don't copy that. It will cause problems. And I just grab the timing grid, Control C to copy. I come over here, I overwrite this with the new timing grid. Okay. Oops. Stray spaces like that, stray characters like that will cause problems. Okay. So now, if you want to run a script like that, a Perl script, you need to have Perl installed on your computer. And Perl is free. It's easy. You just go back to Google. I like ActiveState PERL. Do a search on it right here, ActiveState PERL. It's free. You say I want to download it. You have all these different options. And I want to download it for Perl. I'm running Windows 8.1 at 64-bit, so I would do the 64-bit version. Click on it. It asks you for some stuff, but you don't have to pay attention to it. It downloads it right here. You run it, you install it, and then you're good to go. Gives you a Perl package manager. There's all sorts of different things, like if you wanted to do, for example, sockets, right? There are all sorts of library add-ons that can allow you to work with sockets. Okay, so I can say socket, and here's everything that it defines with socket. Or if I wanted to do TCP, see, these are various TCP things. IO sockets, I mean, there's tons of stuff. We were doing XML, there's all sorts of XML libraries that you can install, and all you have to do to install something is you click on it and click add, and then you say go, and it will install everything that you've told it to do. But I don't want it. I don't want this one. So anyway, that's Perl. Okay, so now anything I run that has that PL extension will be associated with Perl. Okay, go back to Audacity and let's go get some more. So onset's fun. Another one I like to get is bar and beat. Gives you something similar to, well, here you'll see. Well, it didn't pick up much. Well, I'm zoomed in. Hang on, let me zoom out. And what it does is it counts the number of bars. So I'm going to say name bar. Then I come over here, file, export labels, call it bar. Yep, I've done that one before too. Let's do the fun one. No. Polyphonic transcription. This is where it finds all of the notes. Okay, and you can see it's a little different here. So it is actually using both columns in that output file. It says when the note starts and when the note stops, and it assigns it a number. Each one of these number corresponds to a MIDI note, and it's actually saying if it's a C sharp, D minor, whatever. Okay, and you can actually look it up. So I'm going to call that one poly. Then export that one too. Export labels. And let's see, for grins, let's do beat finder. See, it just puts a B, beat. Okay, whoops, wrong export. Export labels. Beat. The only reason it's doing this is because I've had these all before. Okay, so this is my sequence file. And if somebody ever wants to come take my script and turn it into a real program, it's yours. I don't have any particular attachment to it. People want to use it, create another app, I have no problems. Okay, so I take bar, so now it's going to be 1, and I move that out to out.text. This is redirect, but append it to the end. Let's say beat. So I had bar, beat, and then poly. Poly I'm going to do different. So I do notepad, alt.text. Get rid of this line. Get through these. It's a very short song, so the timing grids are very simple. Come over here, add the next two. See, and I'm just adding that in there. Now, with poly, I can do poly just like any of the others. Okay, it's going to be the third one, actually the fourth one, but we start counting at 0. See, and it will give me all of my stuff just like the other one. But if I put a 1 here, it's a special flag saying you got a polysymphonic thing, and it's actually going to do more. Now, let me show you what that does. First of all, give me my timing grid, okay? And I want that. So I'm going to take that timing grid and I'm going to stick it over with the others. Okay. See, so that's poly and it's save ID 3. Okay, now for this one I have a little bit of fun. See here, I also rewrote the channels section, and look at all the information that's there, and this is actually controlling the song. So I copy that, I come over, got too many out files. Here's my LMS file, and I'm looking for channels, not the channels under track. I'm looking for the channels up here at the beginning, and I'm going to replace it with what I just grabbed. Okay, looks scary, but it's not that intimidating. This basically says for this channel, I named this channel B after the note. This is color, I think that's red, and then centiseconds, just how many centiseconds are in the song. And then here it's basically just saying when it this here, you know, at this time start, at this time end, start intensity, start intensity 100, end intensity 0. So it's going to fade from this time to this time in centiseconds. Actually, from this time to this time in centiseconds for that channel. Okay, and it does it for the song. So this is the real sequencing information. Now I come down here and I have to update the tracks, because the tracks are what keep the channels sorted. So you can see it just has a list of all the channels and the fact that they're in that track. So I come in here, I replace tracks, I save it, and if I did everything right, it should open up. If I mess something up, it'll give me an error, but it worked. Okay, so you can see here what we've done is we've basically said, okay, if it's a low A, mark it. If it's a G sharp, A whatever, I don't know what all these mean. My daughter could tell you, but basically it's marked the notes out. So let me make it so you can see this a little better. And we hit play.
Jingle bells, Batman smells, Robin laid an egg. The Batmobile lost the wheel and Joker got away. Hey! Jingle bells, Batman smells, Robin laid an egg. The Batmobile lost the wheel and the Joker got away.
So basically, polyphonic goes through and figures out what all the notes are, which is amazing. Now, if you come over here to timings, right, here's a list of all of our timing grids, and you'll recognize them. There's bar, beat, onset, poly, everything that we did. Now, let's say, you know, we got a soft spot for the beat wizard. We want to keep it. I go in here and say I want to add a new freeform grid, and what do I want to call it? I want to call it the beat wizard, BW. I come up to here, I select BW, and there's nothing here. I just go to Tools, Beat Wizard, Apply and Exit, and I got my timing grid. So now I have all these different timing grids. Good for all sorts of things. So I want to so you can say, well, you know, what good is this? Let me insert a few bogus channels here. Insert multiple channels above. Let's call it 7. Okay, and I can combine these if I want. So what I can do is I can come through here and I can say, well, you know what? I'm going to take all the low ones and I'm going to create a channel that's just the low. So actually what I'll do to make that a little easier myself is I'll go through here and I'll add a new freeform grid. Call it work or something. there. That makes it really easy to copy and paste whole rows. So this one's low. Make sure I'm on select. And I can say copy, put it here. Okay, so it's low. Now I want to make sure my edit or my paste mode is paste from foreground. Because what I want to do is I'm going to combine all these guys together. See, so I copied it, I paste it, get this next one, the next low, paste that there, get this one, paste that one there, here's another low, paste it over top. You see it just keeps layering on top of itself. Here's another low, and then there's this one. See, now when I play it, this now represents all the
Jingle bells, Batman smells, Robin laid an egg.
Same data, it's just not broken up as granular. So a lot of times I'll take all the low stuff and put it to a channel. I'll take all the middle stuff and overlay it, the treble, the high, and then I assume A and B, and the ones that are by themselves are just regular. And I'll layer them like that, so I end up with maybe 5 channels. Okay. Now I also have the beat wizard and all that, but now what I can do is I can say, okay, do this. Let's import my channel configuration. Let me pick an old one. Man, I don't have any terribly old ones. Let's do this one. So I pull in my channel configuration, and it just took whatever was there and it mapped it in. So I can still move it around. So I can say this is my beat wizard, but I can say let's copy this because this is more of the notes. I'm going to call this one foreground. So I paste it over here, delete this. That's my beat wizard, so I want to fill it in. And I usually at the beginning of my configurations I have these null channels. They're not attached to anything. There's no device attached. I use this for breaking down the songs. Now what I'm doing with Audacity just helps speed that up dramatically. Okay, just filling this in like I did before. And this is the beat wizard timing grid. Let's shrink up the columns a little. And I paste. Paste again. And that's all the way to the end. So now I can come over here, I go to onset, and I say, well, you know that, actually let me get beat wizard back here first. I want to grab all these guys. Control C. So now I go to onset, and I said, you know what, I'm going to use onset for my other foreground. Paste. There's a lot more channels here, so I got to paste a couple of times, or a lot more timing grids. So I got my beat wizard, I got that. Oh, then I actually had beat. So let me take beat and do the same for that. Call that background. Start about here. And I give myself 2 places for background, so I'm going to use the other one for bar. Okay. And so for bar, actually, yeah, I'll use that background too. Paste. So now when I go and play, we can watch these things on the side to see how it looks. Or I can use my little analyzer. Now it's not sequenced. You know, all I did was put the I just copied in and let them fall, let the channels fall where they may. I want to delete those and use, you know, do it up for real. But the point of this part of it is to get the timings down. So when I play it,
Jingle bells, Batman smells.
This little piece in the middle is kind of my metronome. I have it linked up to these bogus channels so I can see what it looks like. So you watch this and we'll get a feel for, you know, if we're getting the beat of the song.
Jingle bells, Batman smells, Robin laid an egg. The Batmobile lost the wheel and Joker got away. Hey, jingle bells, Batman smells, Robin laid an egg. The Batmobile lost the wheel and the Joker got away.
Okay, so we're watching this guy here, and you know, the timings actually look pretty good. So now I can start going through. Now if I want to copy and paste different things, like if I want to take this stuff here and paste it down, what I do is I find the onset grid and see the timings match up. And if I want to do bars, then I go select bar, and then the timings now match up to this. Now this isn't done, right? We still want to go through and do more, like with the vocal. I'm just going to delete everything in the vocal lines. Good way to get the vocals are good way to get the timings for that is just to use the tapper. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new one, a new timing grid, freeform. I'm going to call it vocal. And this is the part where we sing along. So we go to tools, we go to tapper wizard, and you can set it up so that mouse up and down count as a single tap, or you can do the keyboard, and we'll go. So I'm going to tap along with the vocal.
Jingle bells, Batman smells, Robin laid an egg. The Batmobile lost the wheel and Joker got...
Oh, screwed up. You see, I started doing it with not just the song, with the words, but also the music. I couldn't help myself, so I'm going to start again. So you're sure? Yep.
Jingle bells, Batman smells, Robin laid an egg. The Batmobile lost the wheel and Joker got away. Hey, jingle bells, Batman smells, Robin laid an egg. The Batmobile lost the wheel and the Joker got away.
Okay, apply and exit. And now I have my vocals. I didn't do perfect on it, but I did okay. So now I come in here and I say paste. And so when I play it back now, if I watch this vocal, it should go with his voice.
Jingle bells, Batman smells, Robin laid an egg.
Yeah, let me put it to a color you can actually see. Like a nice bright blue.
The Batmobile lost the wheel and Joker got away. Hey, jingle bells, Batman smells, Robin laid.
Now it's not perfect, especially with the tapper wizard. You find that you're a little bit behind, and so what you can do is you can come in here and you can grab the little timing grids and you nudge them back and forth to make sure that they're just right. And usually if they look good to your eye, especially in that little analyzer window, then they're pretty good. So what I do, I break the song down to these elements, and then when I have that down really good, it's not that hard of an issue to say, well, how do I want to translate this into my element? So, you know, I love using, and I do this too much. Whoops, that's not what I meant. I want to edit, select row. Okay, so what I can do is I can say, well, you know, I want the cactus to do the singing, right? And then anything that's the bars here, so I'm going to select row. Anything that's the bars, I think I want, let's see, my lawn stakes. I'll have my lawn stakes do that part. And then for this beat, I'm going to have my big trees do that. So select the row, Control C, and then here's my big tree for the white. So it's going to keep the beat. And oh yeah, I still have that paste mode set. So if there was something there before, it's not going to override it, it's just going to overlay on top. So there might be a couple places where it looks a little off. And then just for grins, just select this row, and I'm going to have the trees do this part. I'll have half the trees do that part, and then I'll have the other half of the trees And I'll do this sometimes to also get a feel if the timing is right, because sometimes it's a little hard to see on the little metronome thing. And then of course we got our beat wizard back here, and we might say, well, let's apply him to something. Let's put him on the wreaths. Okay, and now we can see how that looks a little better. Now there will still be some stray stuff in there because I just pulled it in. I pulled that polyphonic stuff in, but it's just there. It's not going to hurt anything.
Jingle bells, Batman smells, Robin laid an egg. The Batmobile lost the wheel and Joker got away. Hey! Jingle bells, Batman smells, Robin laid an egg. The Batmobile lost the wheel and the Joker got away.
So basically at this point you just kind of eyeball it and say, okay, does it look about right? And if it does, then you're ready to start sequencing. You know, like obviously at the end there it'd be pretty cool to have I like doing snowflakes at the end of that when I hear that tinkling sound. So I come over here to tricks, pick a timing grid. Let's see, I want one with some granularity to it, so I'll pick that onset. And it's really this last bit. So I can come over here and I can say I want all the snowflakes to do the twinkle, right? Come back here. Well, actually, let me say play range. Okay, I already got it from. See that? It's twinkling. But wouldn't it be cool? Do a little more. Let me take this, subdivide the timings. See, I can take a certain timing, I can say subdivide it by 8. I can now have 8 little things. And I come over here and I have snowflake vertical, so I have my snowflakes divided into 8 rows. Okay, so what I can do is I come over here and oh, it didn't do all the snowflakes. Look at that, there's some snowflakes that didn't get it. I'll add them. So what I can do is I come over here and I can say start shutting it down. Make sure I'm on the right row. Yep. You know what? I'm not going to like that. Let me do this. I want it to be about twice as granular as it is. So I'm going to say subdivide timings by 2. And so everything that's there now gets divided by 2. So now I'm good. I'm good to go. So I'm going to say bang, bang. That. Delete these. So I still have my twinkle, right? But now what I'm doing is I'm turning it off. So now I'm going to copy this. Oh, I messed up. Row 8 goes all the way down to here. Ah, that'll still look good. That'll actually look better. So I copy this, and I say copy. So it's going to do it twice. So if I come over here and we say play this portion, this is going to twinkle and then rain down. You see that? So it's kind of decaying. So it kind of looks like it's twinkling down. See, and you can do all sorts of cool effects. So, but that's the fun part, and we're kind of getting away from the point, which is doing timings. But it's a good example of how to insert timings. At the same time, you can take timings away. Like I can go group these guys, right click and say delete selected timings, and they all disappear. I can also say right here, right click, this is important to me, instead of timing right where I right clicked. Okay, and you got a good time. If your timing is good, your sequence is gonna look awesome. And that's how I do it. So I have the script. I'll post the script on my Google Drive. I don't provide a lot of support for how do you get Perl up and running. I have it in the video where you go to download it. I'll do a quick walkthrough on the script. I don't program professionally. It's a leftover skill from another age. So this is crappy code. Basically, I have some usage built into it, and I say what you need, where you need to get it from. And like I said, if anybody wants to pick it up, you can. So right here, I'm taking in arguments for the file name, the saved index number, and this split by label is if you're going to do that polyphonic thing. I do some really crude error checking, but not very much. And then basically I call a function here that says create the Light-O-Rama XML script snippets, and I pass in all of the information. It returns an array, and I just send the array to standard out. Okay. Now if we go to the create Light-O-Rama snippets, I receive the arguments that I passed. I take the file name, I get the base name of it, and I'm going to use that as the name to use in the XML. The saved index I set to 0 if in case someone doesn't use anything, and then I have something, a place where I can calculate my centiseconds. So the timing here, this is going to hold the ending timing grid, and I use this hash table just to make sure I don't have any duplicate times. And then I put in the very first one. So this is the header, the centisecond 0. That's going to be, I'm pushing that into the array. Then I open up the Audacity file and I go line by line. So what I do is I have a start, a stop, and a label, and I split the line based on tabs, and then I convert the start and stop time into centiseconds, and then the label I grab the integer portion of that. And so then I update the timing grid, so I'm just going back and forth. I can split by the label, and this could be made better, but again, it hasn't been a problem, and I just go line by line by line. So here I'm grabbing the channel data. So if I have that split by label that I use for polyphonic, here I grab out that the channel data and I store that into an array. Okay. Then I finish off the little timing grid, and then I have this channel and track information that I store the information in if we have the split by label. Here's the channel and track, so I'm not going to go over that heavily, but basically it builds the XML portion for channels, for the channel block and the tracks block. And one of the cool things that this does is the channel name, what it'll do is it'll use that label number and it loads up this little hash table, right? So you pass in a note, a number, and it will, if it's like a 21, it will return an A, and then it will store that information in A, and then it spits that out in the standard out too. So it's pretty simple. I mean, you couldn't ask for an easier format. This is a crude script. It'd be great if Light-O-Rama eventually allowed you to import the Audacity timing grids, and who knows, they very well might. But that's the video. Hope it was useful to people. Again, I think this vastly simplifies the sequencing process. I know that I would usually spend more time, or at least as much time, getting the timings right as I actually did doing the sequencing. And now using this method, I literally can go and get all the timings down in 10-12 minutes max. And that's even if making a mistake or two. So again, hope it was useful, and that's it.